So, the following presentation that I'm going to give is based off of some research on education and the use of technology within education. So, we're going to focus first on device use, and then we're going to talk a little bit about artificial intelligence use and how it can affect long-term learning uh, within your education and how it will influence the policies within this course. So all devices, right, are all hardware and all software is crudely we can talk about it as a tool. Okay, so in certain situations, certain tools are more effective than other tools. Right. So what I'm going to be discussing today, right, is that you should try to select the tools that are best aligned with what the purpose of you completing the assignment is, and that will be best for you in terms of your long-term development as a thinker, as a critical thinker and an engineer during your career. Okay, so the first tool that we're going to talk about is a laptop and a computer in general. A computer is a fantastic tool in general, all right. But in terms of trying to uh, engage during a classroom session, it's often can be misused. Okay, so instructors know that you can use it for other things like email or other stuff that you're doing, all right, and basically unrelated use of laptop has been associated with these negative outcomes. Okay, you can look into the studies additionally. Okay, so what was often found is all right. So students basically were either allowed to multitask or not multitask. All right, and then they were tested. Okay, and what they found is that students did a lot better when they did not have to multitask. All right, um, so by removing that distraction of multitasking, students did a lot better and were able to comprehend that information. Okay, right. I also noted that multitaskers took much worse notes. All right. All right. So basically, the next one looked at how multitasking affected peers. All right, rather than multitasking students themselves. Here's an image of that. All right. All right. Participants took paper and pencil notes. They were not allowed to multitask. All right, and then they found that they both took similar quality notes, but how did they perform on the test? Again, when they were looking at students who were not distracted by the multitasking of their peers, they did better. Right. So even if you are not the one who's using the laptop, the people around you can negatively affect your scores. Right. So, all right, and this was basically they found that this was a subconscious effect. They did not realize how others' behavior was affecting them. Okay. Right. So again, laptop use in the classroom, and they say like, okay, fine, maybe you're not multitasking, maybe you're just taking notes. Okay, you're just typing out notes. All right, um, and but they basically found, all right, um, all right, and that they basically would take a test after a 30-minute break, um, and what they found. Is again, laptop note takers did worse. All right, they took more notes, but they were more transcription-like. All right, again, they tried to specifically tell them not to take verbatim notes. They did worse. All right, and again, the writing by hand still did better after studying. Right, this kind of shows the results of that as well. Okay. All right, significantly better performance on factual recall. Right. So I'm gonna skip through a few slides here because I think we kind of get the point. All right, and this is kind of like a clip of it. All right. All right. Um, all right. Again, basically saying laptops, you're going to take more verbatim notes, which has been shown to be much worse for your learning. Right. Um, so basically, we're going to use some of this in order to create our policies for the class. Okay. I also want to kind of bring up that cell phones can also be a sense of distraction as well. All right, so you can multitask as well. Same thing for a tablet. All right. All right, but it basically shows that not only the users of the device are suffering, the people around them are suffering. Right. Or not able to perform as well as in tests, right? So this is another section where basically they had device banning on different days of the week, and they basically would determine how well they could do on questions, whether or not they had their devices available to them or they did not, right? And what they found is that initially when they did a immediate testing, the students did about the same statistically in the classroom. During their midterms, the people who were the questions where they were not allowed technology, they did do significantly better. And on the final exam, they did significantly better, around 8 percentage points better when they were not allowed to use the technology. Okay, so for longer term recall, all right, it was basically found that uh, banning electronic use was significantly improved. Okay. All right. All right. I really appreciate this quote here. So I'll give you a couple seconds here. You can pause the video and read this quote. But basically, the last sentence kind of summarizes it. What's the point of going to class in the first place if a week later you don't remember it? Okay. All right. So the point of this is I'm not anti-technology. The point of this is that we need to know what is the purpose of the device, why are we using it, and is this the best situation? Okay. All right. So this is what I'm going to suggest for classroom use. We're going to not use laptops in the classroom. Um, Basically, my only exception to this rule is if we're doing some type of work that requires it. I'll mention that. So still bring your laptops and have them available in your bag, but do not put them out on the desk. The exception I will make is if you're using a 2-in-1 laptop or a tablet where you are writing with a stylus. That is fine, but the stylus and the device must be folded flat on the table so other people do not see it. Okay. Phones should be away in your bag, not in your pocket, and they should be on silent. Okay. All right. Obviously, electronic devices can affect how you study outside the classroom. All right. So, all right. So there are some softwares that kind of help you minimize distractions from technology. Here's a list of them that are available to you.